Hey friends, Gary here, welcome to today's video. Pretty soon I will travel and I want to share my Micro Four Thirds camera and lens setup for this particular trip. So, spoiler alert, the destination will be an urban destination, and because of that, I want to use all prime lenses set up for this particular trip. Now you might be asking, hey Gary, why you are not using a zoom lens? I thought you are all about versatility when it comes to travel photography. And my friend, you are correct. I love flexibility, but this time I want to be more intentional with my photography. I want to slow down, I want to be more thoughtful, and I want to use the focal lengths that I want in any particular time specifically, rather than being presented with the unlimited flexibility of a zoom or even a super zoom lens. And also, again, I'm visiting an urban destination, so I will do things like everyday photography. Maybe I'm in a coffee shop or a restaurant. I want to document what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, maybe take a little bit of portrait of my wife, doing environmental portrait, that kind of stuff, a little bit of street photography, sceneries. So they are not really fast-paced kind of photography. I don't require the ability to capture moment instantaneously. I can slow down a little bit and the opportunities will always be there. I will not miss a moment. So this kind of run and gun, spontaneous, candid kind of capabilities don't really matter in this particular trip. Also, I wanna create a motto for this particular trip inspired by a photographer named Zach Arias. Many years ago, he said on one of his blogs, a healthy restriction can spark a lot of creativity, and that's what I'm really after in this particular trip. Anyway, without further ado, let's start with the gear themselves, starting with my primary and only camera for this particular trip, which will be the Panasonic Lumix G100. So this will be my only camera body for the trip, and if you watch my previous videos, you might know that I love to carry two camera bodies so that I can have two different lenses covering different focal lengths at the same time, so that I can be more flexible. I don't have to change lenses and I have the ability to switch between multiple focal lengths. I don't want to do that in this particular trip because, again, as I mentioned earlier, I want to be more intentional. I want to slow down. I want to be more thoughtful about my photography. So just one camera body, and I think the G100 is the perfect candidate for that for some reasons. First of all, this is one of my lightest camera body that I have in my collection. The G100 is surprisingly lightweight, even though it doesn't look lightweight at all. But it's not the absolute lightest camera in my collection. That will be my Panasonic Lumix GF9, or also known as the GX850. So the reason why I prefer the G100 over the GF9, although the GF9 is lighter, is because this camera has better grip. That's very important for me. It has front positioned shutter button and it has better manual control. There are more buttons and dials in this camera. Shooting in different kinds of modes are actually easy with the G100 compared to the GF9. When I have to shoot full manual with that guy, yeah, I can do it, but you have to struggle a little bit, go into the menu or use extra buttons, that kind of stuff. No things like that with the G100. The G100 also has digital stabilization for video. If I need to record some B-roll or even A-roll, it has microphone input as well, so I'm covered in that regard. Also, it has flipping, fully articulating screen. This is perfect for vertical compositions when I want to do low angle or high angle, or even selfie with my wife. I can just slap a wide angle lens on this guy and I don't need the help of other people to take pictures of me and my wife together. So that's really nice. Now let's talk about lenses. For this particular trip, I will bring 4 Micro Four Thirds lenses, and let's start with my primary lens, already attached to my G100. This is the Panasonic Leica 25mm f1.4, a new addition to my micro four thirds lens collection. I'm very excited to bring this lens on this upcoming trip for a few reasons. First of all, usually my primary lens will be something wider, 14 or 15mm normal wide lens. I love that focal length. It is very flexible. You can do so many things with it. You can cover something that is wide, and you can get close and get that nice background blur compression, that kind of thing with a 14 or 15mm lens. But I don't want to do that. It's too comfortable for me. Again, I want a little bit of a healthy restriction. I don't like the 25mm focal length, but I want to spark that creativity. I want to challenge myself and see what my brain can come up with this particular focal length that I'm not really familiar with. Anyway, there are a few things that I love so much from the Panasonic Leica 25mm f1.4. First of all, that large f1.4 aperture can truly help when it comes to creating nice background blur and also to help with lower light situation. I think that's very handy in a travel situation. And then also the focal length, 25mm. Again, I'm not really into 25mm, but it is so far from my experience great for street photography, for portrait, for detailed shots, for documenting my everyday moments when I'm traveling. So I'm quite excited to use this lens on this trip. Also, from my recent experience using this lens exclusively for a few weeks, the image quality is awesome. Everything is sharp, contrasty, the colors look nice. It has a little bit of that character that I cannot really explain it to you. Maybe that's the Panasonic Leica character. Everything just looks more organic. The background blur looks really nice. Everything just has that kind of vibe, that mojo that I love. I think it is worth the Leica name. And yeah, one thing about this lens that I don't really like, besides the focal length, is the fact that it is a little bit heavy at 200 grams. That is not ideal for travel. And I have something similar in terms of focal length, which is the Panasonic Lumix 20mm f1.7. It is much lighter, it is much smaller, but again, I want to be more intentional on this trip, and I want to force myself to use this guy instead, because 25 is actually a little bit harder for me to use compared to 20. 20 is a little bit more forgiving, it is a little bit more versatile. So yeah, again, I'm hoping to see some creativity sparks being, generated by this lens when I'm using it on this trip. When I get tired trying to learn about the 25mm, then I will use this lens. This is the Panasonic Leica 15mm f1.7. Now this will be my comfort lens because I'm already familiar with this guy. It is very flexible, 15mm. You can cover a lot of different things. It is wide enough, but it is not ultra wide. It is tight enough for everyday kind of shots. So I will use it for street photography. I will use it for scenery, for everyday moments as well, just to give some different kinds of flavors as a variation to the 25mm that I just showed you. And the 15mm is not really that big, it's not really that heavy. Image quality with this guy, fantastic, also worthy of the Leica name on the lens. Next, for wide scenery and also for selfie with my wife, I will bring my Panasonic Leica 9mm f1.7. I have other smaller ultra wide angle lenses that can do a great job as well, but the problem is that they are all manual focus, and I want an autofocus lens because it is just more convenient. It is quicker to use for me. It is just easier to set up and do selfie with my wife with this kind of lens. With manual focus, I have to stretch out my arm, adjust the focus, and yeah, that's just not ideal. So yeah, I used the 9mm previously on my trip to Iceland, and it worked really well to capture some beautiful landscapes. This time I will use it again for wide scenery in an urban kind of scenario, and also for selfie with my wife. I'm excited to bring this lens again. And to cover my telephoto needs, I will bring the Olympus 45mm f1.8 for distant landscape, for detailed shot, and maybe for portraits of my wife. I'm not quite sure how often will I use the 45mm on this particular trip. Maybe I won't use it at all, I don't know. But one thing that I know for sure is that the image quality of this small little lightweight lens is just fantastic, and I think I will be pleased when using this lens, and I will know that I will get the best possible image quality out of a very small and lightweight package. Now let's talk about non-micro four thirds camera that I will bring on this particular trip, starting with my phone first, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. Definitely this is my communication device, multimedia device, but this will also be my non-micro four thirds camera. It can capture some casual photos with the 3 lenses available: ultra wide, normal wide, and telephoto. And it can also record video, whether it's B-roll or actual talking heads like what I'm doing right now. No, it's not the best quality, but in a pinch it can do a great job. Maybe I will record some Q&A video while I'm there. I'm not sure yet, but I have this device ready to handle that kind of situation for me. Next non-micro four thirds camera, I'm not quite sure yet, but the choices are between the DJI Pocket 3 or the DJI Osmo Action 4, this little action camera. With the Pocket 3, I do have the gimbal, so the footage will be steady, and the large 1-inch sensor, making it possible to get a little bit of background blur. This is great for talking head video and also for recording B-roll. But this is not weather sealed, and it's going to be raining a lot where I will go, and maybe the DJI Osmo Action 4 will make more sense in that situation. But yeah, I'm still undecided, but one of these guys will go along with my phone and my micro four thirds gear. Next, let's talk about accessories, and I will bring this bag as my main camera bag during this particular trip. This is the Alpaca Go Sling bag. This is not a camera bag, this is just a regular sling bag, but I use a camera insert from my other bag, slap it in here, and now it is my camera bag. There are a few reasons why I love to use this bag on this particular trip. First of all, it has a great stealthy design. It doesn't look like a dedicated camera bag, and that's very important where I will go, because I want to be inconspicuous. I don't want to draw attention because, you know, pickpockets and petty crimes, all that kind of stuff. And then also, it has great capacity. Not only will I carry my camera gear inside of this bag, I will also need to carry my everyday carry items, my power bank, my passport, my cables, all that kind of stuff that I need to carry. I need to have it with me all the time, and with this kind of capacity, I think I can easily, comfortably carry everything that I need, including my camera gear, inside of this bag. And then also, it is weather resistant, both the materials and also the zippers. It is very weather resistant. It's been tried and tested in Iceland with that kind of crazy weather, so I have full confidence of using this bag on this upcoming trip. And then also, last but not least, it has a very comfortable strap right here, very big padding, very beefy, and I will carry this bag for hours every day, so the bag needs to be comfortable. And again, it's been tried and tested many times, and I think I'm very confident with this bag. And if you are interested to check out or to learn more about this bag, and also to support this channel a little bit, please make sure to use these affiliate links right here. You will get some discounts purchasing this bag or any other Alpaca gear bag, but I will get a small kickback to help me keep this channel running. And that wraps up today's video. So those are all the gear that I will carry on my upcoming trip, and I hope that all of these lenses and camera will be able to perform really well during my trip and be able to capture nice pictures, nice moments that I can share with you later on. I'm very excited about this trip, but anyway, enough about me. What about you guys? What will be your cameras and lenses that you will bring on an upcoming trip or on a imaginary trip, things like that? I want to learn from you guys. Please share on the comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. But that's it for today's video. Hopefully this has been interesting, entertaining. Hopefully I can inspire you with these cameras and lenses so that hopefully you can come up with your own tightly dialed in travel camera and lens setup. Anyway, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. If you want to support my work even further, consider using the affiliate links down below. Use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel. Join my paid Patreon membership so you can get exclusive benefits such as being able to download my tutorials, video travel course, ebook. You can also download my Lightroom preset. You can download photos that I captured and use it as your phone's background or desktop wallpaper. You can also check out my recent travel video course called Simplifying Travel Photography with the link right here. I explained and share to you all that I know, my expertise, my experience regarding travel photography, and I recorded that video in Iceland. It's about 1 hour and 40 minutes long, so you learn things about gear, about composition, about how to create a story with a picture, about post-processing, and also capturing northern light, that kind of stuff. I shared everything with you, all that I know about travel photography. It's going to be interesting. Check out this link right here. Anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.